What's up, everybody? This is Stevie B at PTC coming to you with another exciting episode of PTC Live, where we bring to you information about our wonderful programs, our program directors, and how we put it all together at Piedmont Tech to serve our community. With me today is a personal and professional friend of mine, Miss Christy Bird. And Christy is the academic program director for our Human Services program. Christy, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Steve. Thank you for asking. I hope you are.
I am. And you know, Christy, now there's some letters behind your name. Those letters are LISW. And for me, or somebody like me, you might think that I've probably got a driving ticket or something, but would you please tell us what LISW means as it relates to your profession and your responsibilities?
Thank you. I'll be proud to. I am a social worker. That is my profession. The LISW means Licensed Independent Social Worker. With that, pretty much is licensure at an advanced practice level, where oftentimes social workers may begin to provide therapeutic services in their community. It kind of calls for a different level of thinking and practice and working with populations. So not just private practice for therapeutic services, but it could just be advanced level services to assist people in our community. With social work, there's different levels of licensure. So that you have the licensed independent social worker, you have the licensed master social workers, and you have the licensed bachelor social workers. And so because I love what I do, I love social work, I wanted to make sure I obtain all the opportunities I have for social work and be able to practice at a level where I can ultimately help all for service and providing services.
That's great. Now I'm going to ask you what probably seems like an obvious question, but as a former admissions director and as someone who represents the college out in the community and get asked a lot of questions about what programs and services do you offer, give us a clear definition of what is social work.
Oh, social work. It encompasses so much. What stands out to me for social work is that it kind of takes the practice of psychology, sociology, human services, all of that into one to provide different types of thought processes. We assist with removing barriers, we prevent services, we intervene in crisis, we teach. There's so many different levels of social work and care, but we're pretty much being trained, and it is a skill. We have to be careful about using the word social work. I know that term is used very loosely in our community, right. But everyone who is helping people is not necessarily a social worker. Social worker is a skilled, credentialed profession. And by the state of South Carolina, when a social worker here, you use the term social work, they're usually thinking that you went to school for social work or maybe even have a license to practice social work. So, but human services, as we continue to talk about that, I think that just kind of speaks to how people can and students can venture off after they receive a human service degree. You can move forward and get a social work degree. And so it is a skilled profession. Yes, sir.
Well, that's a perfect lead-in, because the next question I had on tap was, give us an overview of the human services program that you're leading here at Piedmont Tech.
Yeah. So as I define social work, I definitely want to try to put the definition on human services. Now, we're guided under a national organization. So the National Organization for Human Services, some people refer to it as NODES. They define human services as a unique approach to meeting human needs through an interdisciplinary knowledge base. We focus on prevention. We focus on remediation of problems. We maintain commitment to improving overall quality of life for the populations that we serve. Human service professions also promote improved service delivery. We look at systems and we take an account to how we can improve systems. Sometimes we develop and implement systems to help people, right? We also provide direct practices, and that's a lot of the experiences that our students want when they come into the classroom. We teach them that. But not only that, we also improve accessibility to services, and we're seeing a big need for that in our society right now. Even accountability for services. So say systems are already implemented, services are already there. We want to make sure the services that we provided are effective and have an impact on the populations that we serve. and we coordinate services, even among other professional agencies. We do referrals, we do assessments, discharges, all that kind of stuff. So human services is a large and growing field. Is more than what people think oftentimes.
What, is that all? That all you do? My goodness.
It's a lot to this.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
and
It's a
see, I
skill.
just learned some things that I didn't know right there in that bit of information that you shared. Um, Getting into some of your faculty, and you work in a field where you're working with all different types of people and circumstances. So it's important that there's diversity in your faculty,
Yes.
and those individuals who represent the program.
Absolutely. So we have a diverse faculty and adjunct field. Oftentimes, Steve, we are a product of services, right? A lot of times that's why students come to us for this program. Some of us, just like faculty and adjunct members, we may have encountered struggles where we needed assistance to remove barriers. So our faculty adjuncts are very diverse in ethnicity, race, how they practice, how they provide teaching and instruction in the classroom. I try to make sure that we select faculty members and adjunct professionals who bring to that classroom different knowledge and skill sets. So we have faculty members who work in macro practices where they mobilize systems and work with agencies. And we try to give students that experience in the classroom. We have faculty members who are grassroots. They want to put boots on the ground and they want to go into group settings and they want to work directly with clients. They want to build homeless shelters and work with that population. We have adjunct and faculty members who may have experienced a different route of education, the non-traditional route, where they've had to work and go to school and provide for family. And we have had faculty members who may have experienced poverty, right? And so we know firsthand how it feels and what it looks like to provide and try to get an education, have barriers removed to be successful. So we have a very diverse range of faculty members.
That sparks another question. Some of the perhaps misperceptions about the human services field is that your population of your service population are all predominantly at the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder. When in fact, I think that's absolutely not the case. I think that the program, by my recollection, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there's much more to it and it crosses all socioeconomic levels.
Exactly. And again, there's a need for service. And so, and as we can see now, even in the middle amidst COVID, the pandemic, a lot of populations have been hit. And so you're going to see human service grow even more as a result of providing care for populations that have been impacted by COVID or any other things that's happening in our society. And so it's not just providing services to individuals who may suffer from the lower economic end, but it's any individual who has a need for service. There is a lot of human service professionals working in the medical field, and no matter where your income may lie or fall, all of us, sometime or another, may have suffered some type of medical assistance. Some people suffer from different illnesses, and so our human services professionals and students are trained to go out there and meet those needs. So it just depends on the need of the client.
Excellent, excellent. So now we get to the point where I'm thinking, okay, I'm a student, I'm interested, I'm ready to get started. And in the way things are now, you mentioned COVID, service delivery, the way that we deliver our product to students. Talk to us about how classes are completed and what options are available in terms of course modality.
So we definitely want to try to meet the demand of our student population. And we see a large growth for students who are working and want to obtain a degree all at the same time. We have a lot of students who are primary parents, and so they're burdening the shoulder of raising those children in the home by themselves, right? So we want to provide a flexible type of schedule for our students. So we do offer traditional online classes where there are deadlines to be met, but students can log on at their leisure to get assignments done, to listen to discussion and video lectures from the instructor, participate in discussions whenever they log on. We also offer WEX courses, where the instructor and students may log on at the same time so they can hear a live instruction format and engage with other students. What I love about human services is that we have a need to be around other people, right? We desire that connection from others, and we try to offer those classes to make sure our students' needs are met. We do have face-to-face classes, and some of those classes are in extended campuses like Lawrence right now, for instance, even at the Greenwood campus. So students can come to campus, get that face-to-face engagement, build rapport with their other students and the instructors. And then we have our capstone courses, we call them field courses, where it encompasses all models, where you may have to log on with the instructor at the same time. You actually go out into the community to get that hands-on experience in working with our community partners, and may have some online learning as well. So we want to give a diverse experience for what we already know our students are asking for. They want to have that different type of experience with classes.
And the when you talk about the hands-on experience, for those students who are well into the program and are ready to get some actual clinical experience, can you talk about some of the community partners that we work with that our students have an opportunity to serve with to gain that real world experience?
Absolutely. And I love that. And I just want to drop just a little information with that. Internships are so important because our students go in to the places that they want to work, and they get to work firsthand with populations that they plan to work with for the rest of their lives. And so our community partners, we have a large bank of agencies who want to participate with our program, and they actually help us teach the student and provide valuable training skills and teach hands-on like assessment skills and counseling, interviewing techniques and interventions, how to do referrals, how to do discharges, things to consider when working with particular populations, informed consents and that type of thing. One agency in particular, our students really love to go to this agency. We have it here in Greenwood, it's Synergy Counseling. And I know I just want to also add that we didn't use any clients I know you're going to see some footage. We didn't use any clients because we protect confidentiality as one of our standards. Okay. All of that is people that were doing internships there or the therapists at Synergy. And so that particular site, a lot of students that come our way, they want to go on and be therapists. They want to go on and be counselors. And so we want to place them at settings similar to Synergy where they can see real live counseling sessions take place. They will begin to understand the background of how what's needed to obtain degrees in this field and options there. And also that particular site, it is founded and ran by a therapist. And so they also get to see the business underpinnings on how to start their own agency. And she works firsthand closely with our students to provide them the opportunities. Our students really like that field site. We have other field sites in the extended campus like Clear Sky Treatment Centers in Clinton. We have a faith home here in Greenwood. Some students want to work with addictions populations. We have students who want to work with children and adolescents. And so we also have quite a few partners in our District 50 school systems and abroad. So wherever that student wants to be, if we don't have a field site listed, we will help that student to initiate a contract so that student can get what they need and have that experience and take with them. And one good thing about those experiences, oftentimes our students get hired. It's not a semester that doesn't pass us by where students calling me and saying, Miss Bird, they want to hire me. I'm like, okay, so let's make sure this is a smooth transition. We want to make sure you finish your degree. We just had a student hired this semester with the aging population community as an assessor. And so right now we have a 100% placement rate for 2019, 2020. So that means every person who graduated in that time frame has been placed either going to a 4-year college or has acquired a job in their field. And so we're very serious and determined on making sure our students get what they need.
Wow, that really speaks to the excellence of the program. I think if I have to go get a secondary career, I like that 100%,
Yes,
100% placement. Clubs and organizations, just like any other many programs in our college, there are opportunities for students to get involved with like-minded students that are going about the business of learning more about the field and how service is delivered. Tell us about clubs and organizations for the students that want to get involved in extracurricular modalities as part of the human services program.
Absolutely. A lot of our students come to us. Of course, you have to take your courses, but a lot of them want to come in and get those hands on experiences, and it may take some time to get to internship. And so we provide opportunities around here in our community. We have a human service club, and of this club is comprised of a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, ICC rep. This club looks at the needs in our community. They reach out to agencies. They ask agencies, what can we do to help you provide services? And so oftentimes when we meet, we'll generate some projects. And those group of students move forward with making sure those agencies get assistance. And so it could be through volunteerism, it could be through fundraising, providing items that agencies may need. What has been very instrumental, Professor D. Carpenter has been over the HUS Human Service Club. And in the middle of a pandemic, this club mobilized. They organized services and was able to assist the hospice house. They was able to uh, collect monies and do fundraisers. And we're going to make a donation this semester towards providing food boxes for people in our community. And so, not even a pandemic has stopped our students from making sure they provide services to others in our community. And so, the Human Service Club is very active, has been, and will continue to be so. For a lot of our students who are very scholarly in nature, and so they may have high GPAs like 3.25 or above, we also offer an honor society, and it's actually a national honor society, Tau Upsilon Alpha. Piedmont at the Greenwood campus is the Alpha Theta chapter. And so these students can join this honor society and they will have networks across the world. Just recently, no, we call it Student National Organization of Human Services, we call it NOS. They just recently had a conference and some of our students was able to attend that national conference and hear insights from professionals all over the world. And so the national organization helps them to link up with people who are also working in this field. They also get to learn what all you can do with a human services degree as well. And we promote leadership in our program. We want our students to stand out. We want them to be able to put these skills on their resume and cover letters when they leave us. And so we promote leadership in the classroom. Um, uh, uh, Two, I think, of our human service students are also presidential ambassadors. So we promote leadership on campus and of course out in the community. Oftentimes, our instructors and myself, we get phone calls from people who work at nursing homes or from people out in the community. And they'll ask, can you send us some students who could do A, B, and C? Or can you send us some students who wouldn't mind sitting on our board? And we send names and groups of students their way. So we want to make sure, again, that we're providing a really good experience for our students and employ and get those leadership skills within them before they graduate.
Wow, it's got a lot going on over there, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, with all that, I do still know that the program continues to grow. There's always continuous improvement. Tell us a little bit about where the program's growing, what types of transfer options, discussions of articulation agreements, those sorts of things about students and what they're doing, what opportunities are emerging on top of all the fantastic things that are already going on.
So I think our program is very unique. What's different from our program opposed to others is that when our students come through here, they could graduate with a human service degree and continue towards getting a 4-year degree. So we've had a big, I would say, a growing population of students who want, again, to work and advance their degree or go towards a 4-year degree all at the same time. So oftentimes students, again, they're going to leave here with skills to put on resumes and they can get into different colleges because we have articulation agreements with several colleges. Some of the popular transfer agreements lately has been Limestone, Anderson University. We have one student I know who graduated who's on track to get their master's all like within 3 years or so.
Wow.
So a lot of our students again want to be therapists. They want to continue to advance that knowledge. And so if they come by way of human services, we can help provide a warm handoff to a university as well. So transfer agreements are there to make sure our students take all of those degrees and experiences with them.
And your population of working students, have we covered that yet? Uh,
Yes, it's growing. It's growing. Students want to work in the field. And sometimes, depending on where they're placed, those agencies will help support the students' educational journeys. And so there's a growing need for students to have to work. They want to be employed. And again, we meet needs with that through our flexible class schedules. And again, we help to provide some transfer options when needed.
Outstanding. So the only thing that's left now is I've done all the work. You put me through all the paces. It's time to go out into the field. What's the job availability look like?
That too is growing. If you look at the statistics through the Bureau of Labor, we've already are in the thick of growth. Like I think it's about 14% projected growth for human services, and I think an additional 10 to 11% we will continue to grow all the way through 2024. Rightfully so. Our society has a lot of needs right now, and so job demands are higher in the human services field. Frontline workers are definitely needed in our field. And so we feel pretty confident that our students will be hired, and we feel pretty confident that we're going to train them as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we have that 100% placement rate for students, and we try to network and continue to keep the connection going with graduates. And sometimes our graduates will come back and speak to our current students and give them insight tips on how to get hired and what's the best next steps for the current students. And so we also glean a lot of the information from past graduates. So placement and employment is definitely pretty high right now.
Are any of your students being placed? I know the school districts are starting to bring in human services workers along with, they've always had counselors and things and professionals of that nature. But are you seeing more interaction with school districts for human services professionals that are working within the school system?
Absolutely. Human service professionals overall, absolutely, with bachelor's degrees and of course master's degrees as well. A lot of our associate track students, they are getting some valuable internship lessons there and encouragement to keep going for the 4-year degree. I do think there will be a trend because with a 2-year level, the approach is really frontline services, right? We want to work directly with populations to kind of provide the services and helps that are needed. Because we know that there are a lot of barriers to be removed for children in educational systems, I would project that more and more they're going to be bringing in human service professionals. Absolutely.
That is absolutely incredible. Listen, that is I'm trying to think of something else to ask you here. You've been too thorough, too fast.
I am so
No,
smart. I talk fast.
we're actually right on time. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to share, or any other information you'd just like to add that just speaking from your heart and the pride that you obviously have in the program?
Absolutely. This is what I love to do, and I do it every day. I just want to add that going back to defining human services, it's a lot to it. It is definitely meaningful work that we get rewarded in each and every day that we perform human services. But I also want to add that there's so many different routes to go after you complete a human services degree. We kind of talked about my social work degree. But some students may want to continue to get a 4-year in human services. Some students may leave us and get psychology degrees, sociology degrees. And so there's so many different routes. We have one of the students that you may see on the footage who works at Synergy, because oftentimes our internship partners, they will also hire our students after they complete their internship, as mentioned earlier. But she was a transfer student. We have an articulation agreement with Southern Wesleyan, and she's going to be finished her degree in spring. So it took her about a year and a half to finish her degree. So again, she's going to go into the market with human service experience because she's working there at Synergy, and about to have a 4-year degree. So that transfer route, I think, is really big right now. And she is going to have some counseling background just because of the degree that she chose. So human service is a wide open field. Is really nothing that we cannot do. If you're wanting to assist people, this is definitely a field to choose.
And let me ask you a personal question.
Yes.
What's it like having been on the front lines of providing the service to now coordinating the training for those individuals that are providing the services? How's that been for you?
That's a good question. I am one that believes that lived experiences shapes education, and education shape our lived experience. I do think providing instruction to teach human services how to be a human service professional, or how to do social work, or how to provide therapeutic agencies, assistances to agencies. I think I'm in the goal right now. I don't know how better to serve my community other than to teach human service professionals how to do the work. So, and oftentimes being a frontline work, it's hard to try to pull yourself all the way out of that. So I still engage in frontline work. Like I said, the licensure is very new to me. I'm trying to figure out how and what I want to do with that as well, because there is a really and truly it's a calling. We're
Yeah,
called to do what we're doing. So it's hard to say that I'm just going to stop providing services for individuals. But I also look at students as my clients. I want to also remove barriers that could be keeping them from completing their education successfully. So wherever I go, whatever I do, I'm still doing human services.
excellent. Well, Christy, thank you so much for coming on PTC Live with us. You provided a fantastic overview of your program and a real personal touch that shows how much you care and how much passion you have for helping others. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. And thank you so much for being a part of PTC Live. And again, this is Miss Christy Bird, our Academic Program Director for Human Services at Piedmont Technical College.
Thanks for having me, Steve.